Hello, my friends. Welcome to my studio. My name is Veronica Winters. I'm a visionary artist. Today, I'd like to share a story about the Mycenaeans. Mycenae is the ancient archaeological site located about 75 miles southwest of Athens. It's a fascinating place to visit when you learn about its connection to the ancient Greek history. What seems to be a myth today was a reality in some 16th century BC. This is a place of one of the oldest known cultures in the world, the Mycenaeans. They wrote in Linear B text. The Cyclops built walls and people worshipped Hera. Thanks to independent excavations of an adventurer and explorer, Schliemann, in 1876, Mycenae got unearthed to us today. The collapse of the Mycenaean civilization happened around 1100 BC. So let's talk about facts or myths. In this video, I'd like to share 7 mind-blowing myths about Mycenae that changed ancient Greece. Fact number 1. Perseus found Mycenae. According to Greek legends, Mycenae was founded by Perseus, son of god Zeus, and the human princess Danae. So king of Argos, Perseus, beheaded the Gorgon Medusa, who turned men to stone. The legend tells a story that Perseus, after fulfilling the prophecy that would kill his grandfather, exchanged the kingdom of Argos for that of Tyrants and then founded Mycenae, a new city for himself. So where does the name Mycenae come from? There are at least 3 explanations given for this name. Fact or myth number 2. So to fortify his city, Perseus employed the mythical Cyclops to build the walls, and it is from that event the style of gigantic masonry is named Cyclopean. The Cyclopean masonry can be seen in the Lion Gate and the North Gate in the excavations. It's believed that the Cyclops built the walls around the gate because the weight of the stones is between 20 and 100 tons. Fact or myth number 3. The Lion Gate mystery. The main gate of the Acropolis was constructed in the middle of the 13th century BC. One of its main features is a limestone slab which fills the area of the relieving triangle and bears 2 lions facing each other in relief. The missing heads were probably made of a different material, steatite. These lions look different and out of place, like they were carried from some other unknown place and set in here to make this unusual entrance. But this is the earliest example of a monumental sculpture set between the gigantic stones that symbolize the royal house of Mycenae. And the North Gate has the same construction, but it doesn't have the lions decorating it. It was constructed during the second building phase of the walls around 1250 BC. 4 monolithic blocks form the 2 jambs, the lintel, and the threshold. The gate was closed with a double wooden door bolted by a sliding bar. Instead of a relieving triangle, it has 2 plain vertical slabs set on edge above the lintel, thus transferring the weight to the 2 doorposts. The special care with which the 2 large gates of the citadel were built attests to the Mycenaean masons' expertise. Fact or myth number 4. Discovery of the Agamemnon shrine of the Mycenaean king who fought in the Trojan War. In Greek mythology, Agamemnon was a legendary king of Mycenae who led the Greek army during the Trojan War. Famous for his bravery and military skills, Agamemnon was the brother of Menelaus. Excavations in the area brought to light the architectural remains of a rectangular building that was used from the late geometric to the Hellenistic period. The early form of the shrine remains unclear. However, in the Hellenistic period, the shrine was repaired. Most of the finds come from an archaic deposit that contained, among other finds, geometric and archaic pottery and figurines, all of which appear to be offerings to male gods or heroes. Inscribed pieces referring to Agamemnon have led to the identification of the small sanctuary as a shrine of the hero and protagonist in Homer's Iliad. Fact or myth number 5, the Agamemnon's gold mask mystery. The mask of Agamemnon is a gold funeral mask that was discovered in 1876 by archaeologist Schliemann in the shaft graves of a royal cemetery at Mycenae in Grave Circle A. This mask was one of several gold funeral masks found laid over the faces of the dead buried in the shaft graves of a royal cemetery. The gold mask is 12 inches tall. Made from a single sheet of pure gold, it was hammered thin over a wooden mold. It's considered one of the most famous discoveries from late Bronze Age, as it shows the wealth and craftsmanship of the Mycenaeans at that time. And the mask itself is displayed in the National Archaeological Museum in Athens. Schliemann named the mask after the famous king of ancient Mycenae, Agamemnon, who is featured in Homer's Odyssey. The archaeologists believe that the mask was Agamemnon's because of its preservation and nobility, and thought it could prove the king's existence. However, the mask's origin is up to debate since its discovery. Some art historians and archaeologists believe that this mask is not Agamemnon's because modern research has dated the mask to 1550 BC, which is 300 years before Agamemnon would have lived. Grave Circle A is an extensive cemetery of the Middle Helladic and the early Late Helladic period, which spread west of the citadel. It was used for royal burials exclusively during the 16th century BC. It contains 6 shaft graves marked with stone stelas. The graves contained inhumations of family members, luxury grave goods. You can see those excavations at the National Archaeological Museum in Athens and in Mycenae as well. And as you walk through the area of excavations, you will see some writings about excavated buildings in the area. They include the Pylos Tholos tombs, which date back to 16th, 14th, and 14th centuries BC. There is a house of columns, artisans' quarter, Hellenistic chambers, and many other houses. And it's interesting to look at the excavations of the geometric period. Evidence of the geometric period comes from a number of houses built over the ruins of the palace, as well as pottery both inside and outside of the fortification wall. And this fragmentary pottery is probably connected with some kind of hero or cult. Fact or myth number 6, Linear A and Linear B tablets discovery. According to Wikipedia, during the second millennium BC, there were 4 major branches of writing: Linear A, Linear B, Cypro-Minoan, and Cretan hieroglyphic languages. Linear A is a writing system of the Minoans practiced between 1800 and 1450 BC on the island of Crete. And the Minoan civilization preceded the Mycenaean one. The Linear A script evolved into the Linear B script, which was used by the Mycenaeans as the earliest form of ancient Greek language. It's fascinating to learn that modern archaeologists and historians still cannot read the Linear A script, but they can read the Linear B texts. And this is the Phaistos disc found in Crete with Linear A script writing. This is a round disc, a clay tablet. It has 45 pictorial signs being arranged in different combinations, forming 61 groups. These groups are separated by incised lines that might represent words. These signs were stamped into soft clay with seals arranged in a spiral on both sides of the disc. Experts don't understand the language or this writing in relationship to Cretan scripts. The repetition of some combinations of signs suggests that the inscription is either a hymn or a magical text created in early 17th century BC. It's pretty fantastic, right? And so Linear B script has been proven to be the first form of Greek writing. In 1900, Arthur Evans discovered the script in the Palace of Knossos in Crete, where the Mycenaeans lived after 1450 BC. The Linear B text wasn't read as a language until the discovery of a large archive of clay tablets stored in the Mycenaean Palace of Pylos in 1939. A couple of British explorers and architects figured out Linear B text in 1952. They proved that the tablets got written in an early form of Greek language preceding the Homeric poems. Linear B is a syllabic script. The palace kept its records in a form of these clay tablets, which were administrative documents such as lists, inventory recordings, and even tax forms. And factor myth number 7, Mycenae is the birthplace of Hera's worship and the bird peacock, the colorful peacock that we know. The sanctuary of Hera is located near Mycenae. The sanctuary of Hera was famous ancient cult center that lies on a low hill between Argos and Mycenae. The first temple of Hera was built in the 7th century BC that burned to the ground in fire. And the second Doric temple got built to honor the goddess about 420 BC. The colossal gold and ivory cult statue of Hera. So the peacock was a sacred bird to Hera. And here are a couple of other fun facts about the Mycenaean world. One of such facts is the use of seals. Seals appeared in the area in the early Bronze Age, about 3rd millennium BC. They had a long history of use in the advanced administrative systems of the Near Eastern cultures. They became widespread in ancient Greece. They were found in the Minoan palaces. So these are microscopic engraved stones. The seal rings were true works of art that were used as jewelry, votive offerings, and amulets. The seals were used alone and in a combination with the clay sealings for many years, confirming the existence of goods quality control. People who owned and used them were representatives of the upper class or other authority. Although the Mycenaeans were influenced by Minoan iconography, they used the seals primarily as objects of authority, while their contribution to the central administrative system was supplementary to the clay tablets. And fact number 2, the status of women in the Mycenaean world. Women's role is suggested through iconography, precious and household objects, and the Linear B tablets. Many skills in the domestic economy that included the special skills like textile making or corn grinding belonged to slave women or female tiered workers. There are many Linear B symbols talking about the textiles dyeing. The fabric was wool of different weight dyed into purple red color. People worked in different stages making fabric, having separate profession for each step of the process. The upper class women were involved in the royal activities that included creation of personal refined adornment pieces. The goddesses wore ornate Minoan dresses, and the female priestesses played an important role in religious activities in the city, and that gave them special social status. So this is a very brief summary of ancient site Mycenae. If you'd like to learn more about it, please visit my blog on my site veronicasart.com. Have a look at my art as well. And thanks so much for watching. If you have any questions about this place, please leave your question in the comments below. This is how I can find those. Thanks so much. Take care. Bye bye.